Hello and welcome. It's a new graphic novel review by me, Andrew Ace. You can find me online at UYS999. That UYS is my last name. That's pronounced Ace. Alright, so today the graphic novel review is featuring, well, X-Force. I was about to say Cable or Deadpool, because obviously they're the really popular characters again, not that they were ever really not popular since they're introduced. And X-Force / New Mutants was the title that they were introduced in. And really, I should say they were both introduced in New Mutants, which is why I'm going to start off with Cable and the New Mutants. Now, this is an older graphic novel. You're more likely to find this in a used bookstore, which is really, what I recommend sometimes. And it's, in my case, a pretty beat up copy. I believe they're reprinting it. They might even just have reprinted this book. And what should I say? Well, it's by Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld is the name that's going to keep coming up. He's the sort of driving force creator, especially back in the 90s, behind, well, the creation of Cable, the creation of Deadpool, and doing it in the New Mutants title. And New Mutants title was a really sort of odd duck, if you would, because at times it seemed very, like it shouldn't be popular, and had often sort of new styles of art, or willing to sort of take a gamble, if you will, on a creative team. And in a way that really paid off. 20, 30 years later, that run is a fan favorite, and from that run we have both Cable and Deadpool. So this book starts with New Mutants issue 87, which is the first appearance of Cable, and goes through to issue 94. And you can see Rob Liefeld has a unique style of art. He was one of those creators that left Marvel Comics in the early 90s to help found Image. And you might be familiar with his title Youngblood from there. Recently he sort of brought that back a bit. Obviously the popularity of Deadpool the movie has led to sort of return of popularity to Rob Liefeld's work. Certainly there was for a long time a bit of a fan negative reaction to his style of penciling, which people feel, and I'm probably going to show the same page again, people feel that his style of art, he couldn't draw feet. So here's a little panel where you can maybe see some feet. And you know what? I mean, I don't know. Maybe, it's true. He found feet hard, or in his action pose stances that saw a lot of exaggeration in the upper body, which is what he also took some flack for. That then led to sort of a sleekness or a streamlining of the figure to give it kind of a more of a dynamic, top-heavy or front-in-your-face pose, versus, trying to be as realistic as possible. I don't think Rob Liefeld was trying to draw as realistic as possible. He was trying to draw really dynamic, exciting comic books. So, people are subjective tastes. I was definitely a fan of X-Force, New Mutants X-Force, and the book that I have that's managed to collect all that is the X-Force Marvel Omnibus. Now this starts with issue 98. Not that you can maybe see all that well, but issue 98 is the introduction of Deadpool. 2 issues later, issue 100, the title ends, and it got rebooted. Not really true. I mean, they launched this new title called X-Force. The whole premise had been New Mutants were obviously the training of the next generation of mutant characters at the X-Men Xavier's school. And X-Force really sort of meant to show that once Cable had joined the team, taken over the mentor figure, who, and keep in mind, the New Mutants had Magneto as their leader for a while, Cable came on board and started training them almost as more like a mutant paramilitary unit. Certainly in the 90s was certainly the extreme option, and wasn't appreciated, wasn't supported, wasn't condoned by obviously Scott Summers and the regular X-Men. So X-Force, though, kind of should show the new title was these are the most extreme X-Men who are going on these extreme missions that is extremely 90s. And that's what it was. It was very extremely 90s. And this volume collects, it's monstrous, issues 98 to 100, several several annuals, then X-Force issues 1 through 15, Spider-Man issue 16, which I remember I was a kid, I was about 10 when X-Force number 1, 10 or 11 when X-Force number 1 came out. And the issue 16, they had a crossover with the McFarlane Spider-Man title, if I remember correctly, or at least certainly the issue turned sideways so that you could see it. Let's see if I might be able to find it. And they got some extra, even more goodies at the back end of the such. Certainly, this is not all Rob Liefeld's art. You had different creators who were working on the annuals, and obviously different creators that came on board later. This is classic Liefeld, if you would. Shatterstar has reemerged in the pages of X Factor, or had for a while, with Peter David and Leonard Kirk. I haven't kept up with the X Factor title, so I'm not sure what the current roster is, but certainly just a few years back, these are running around alive. And so I mean, this is yeah, again, classic Rob Liefeld art, and it's not to say that they didn't have great writers on board the title either. I shouldn't make it sound like that. But if you want some fantastic 90s comic book action dealing with mutant characters, a little bit of Spider-Man thrown in, that reveal the first of all, not really the origins, because that's the thing. Cable and Deadpool were both very mysterious characters, kind of in the vein of the mystery of Wolverine. That, again, keep in mind, early 90s, what was popular, comics were getting darker, and they were sort of trying to emulate the popularity of, say, Wolverine, Punisher, Ghost Rider. Anyway, moving forward, though, to some more recent books, and in this case, sort of, still looking at X-Force, Rick Remenda did a phenomenal run. I've reviewed it before, so you can look at my other videos, but I just wanted to mention it. I think it's a great read. And there's been at least one volume since. I'm not saying it's bad, but if you really want to get bang for your buck, these graphic novels just feature stunning, incredible art. There are a couple different artists who are coming and going from the title. Billy Tan, you got Mark Brooks working on this one as well. You've got, I'm not going to pronounce his name correctly, so apologies, one moment. Jerome Opena. I apologize for mispronouncing that. The art style does, factor into it, the fact that it keeps switching up, and some of the creators have such different styles. That said, it's all really high quality art, so I don't find myself looking at one of the artists and going, oh, goodness gracious, why they do, you lost me there. And the storyline is super dark. The idea is Wolverine has reformed X-Force. This is now only a few years back. And he is carrying out assassination missions against threats to the mutant race. There's only like 198 of them left or something, mutants on Earth, and Wolverine's decided that he can't keep waiting for a villain to arise to try and exterminate mutants again. He has to be on the front lines, taking the fight to them before they're, genocidal maniacs and destroying Genosa, or wherever, and threatening mutant lives. And some of that makes sense, and certainly, in the post 9/11 world, this kind of preemptive strike, I think this plays into a part of our cultural consciousness. I don't want to get too heavy there, but certainly, the mutants of the 70s and the 80s, the X-Men, where you don't kill, and there's some very strong moral lines. I think some of that's gone. In place of what readers want, which is a more realistic, a darker take sometimes. And certainly this book is for mature readers. The original X-Force, I don't know. Like I said, I was 10 or 11. I don't think my parents were always thrilled I was reading those. This, though, I would definitely say is 16 plus. Some mature graphic situations. And at the same time, phenomenal read. You have Archangel going evil again, sort of the return of Apocalypse. But at the same time, you've got some phenomenal characters. Obviously, you've got Wolverine, and Archangel. We've got Psylocke, Phantom X, Suddenly, of course, that's the moment I draw a blank. Deadpool, thank you. Deadpool is in all of this, so for Deadpool fans, definitely worth checking out. And the run, there's 7 volumes. I really recommend 100% checking out the first 3 or 4, and then deciding there if you want to continue with the series. The run is done. Like I said, they've already done another volume of X-Force. And I'm sure there will be yet another one yet. So, there you go. That's some graphic novels from both the 90s and the 2010s. And I'll be back with another theme. We'll call this the Cable Deadpool X-Force vlog episode. Like I said, my name is Andrew Ace. You can find me online at UYS999. Check me out. Cheers.